Hi guys, and welcome to another session of Honest Talk About Women, where you'll learn tips, tricks and strategies on how to navigate the minefields of dating and relationships. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and also comment in the comments section. It all helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you've got a story you want to share with viewers, you can contact me on my email address listed below. Okay, let's get right into it. This is the best dad advice ever. So, a bit of background, guys. So I had a very whiskey drinking father. He was of Scottish heritage, Irish Scottish, and he was an immigrant to New Zealand, and he worked in construction. Is a very good entrepreneur. He did very, very well. So we always had after 5 o'clock talk at our house. It was usually associated with happy hour at 5 o'clock. Given my father was ex-military, he tended to have dinner early. And at 5 o'clock, it was perfect timing. The whiskey bottle used to come out and he used to start drinking. And he drank a lot. And just on a side note, I remember when I was very young, 6 or 7 years old, at the dinner table, he passed his whiskey around the table, asking me and my two sisters to drink some, much to my mother's disgust, who was a farm girl from New Zealand. And I remember burning my lips on the whiskey, and I never had whiskey ever again. So it was a bit of reverse psychology back then, and also the cigar, much to my mother's disgust. He passed the cigar around the table, asking us to have a puff. I had a smoke of his cigar and I coughed and spluttered, and I never touched the cigar ever again. So a bit of reverse psychology there, guys. And probably in today's environment it would be considered child abuse and the kids would be taken away. But it was all good spirits back then. It was all good fun. There's no issues back then. And in some ways that's the way it should be. But anyway, let's get on to his advice. So after 5 o'clock, you had to be very selective on how you interpreted his advice, because it was after 5 o'clock talk, and it was certain gibberish could come in, and he did offer some good words of wisdom. And one of the words of wisdom, I remember him saying to me, he said, "Son, pull up a chair," and he was sipping his whiskey, smoking a cigar, and he said, "Never marry a too good-looking woman. Never marry a woman that's too good-looking." And I was very surprised because I was pretty young at the time, very green into relationships. And he said, "Every man in town will be offering her a better deal than you're currently offering that woman, and she'll cause headaches." And he left it at that. And that's something that stuck in my mind. And it was interesting because in my early 20s, I graduated from my undergraduate degree. I was working in Auckland CBD, Auckland City. And I met a woman at a nightclub who was similar age to myself, and she was this top-notch, absolutely stunning, absolutely beautiful. And I was very green and beyond my years in terms of relationships. We exchanged phone numbers. We decided to catch up. We had a few dates, but I found out she was married, and I didn't know any different back then what you should be doing with a married woman or not. It was only later on in life that I understood that marriage, dealing with married women, is totally off bounds. You do not touch them whatsoever. They need to sort out their own mess first before they want to jump ship and join you. And they need to be in separate homes. But anyway, this woman was a stunner. She was a top-notch girl. We used to walk into a restaurant and everyone just used to stop what they're doing and looked at her. She was just absolutely stunning. She was a trophy wife and absolutely gorgeous. Anyway, we used to meet up every Friday for lunch to catch up on the week, and also discuss what we're up for the weekend. And she was in a very unhappy marriage. Her husband was 15 years older than her. He was very work orientated, didn't spend a lot of time for her, and there were big divisions in that argument, in that relationship. But nothing came of it because she headed off to Hong Kong with him, and I had another university where I did a postgraduate degree in finance. So it gave me an early glimpse into top-notch woman back in my early 20s. But I would actually take my father's advice one step further, and not only saying that be careful marrying a top-notch woman, because every man in town will want to take her off your hands, but also a lot of top shelf women, I believe, have never experienced hardship. Because they're so good looking, a lot of doors open up for them. So whether it's career orientated or job interviews, a lot of doors open up to people if they're good looking. And normal things in life, like opening a door for a lady in a busy gallery or hallway in a work environment, a lot of guys open doors. And would they be doing that if someone wasn't that good looking? I don't think so. So they get treated a different way because they automatically have respect based on their looks. And I can't imagine them knowing what it's like not to be top shelf. So in some ways, I'm pretty sure their father would have treated them like a princess, their mother would have treated them like a princess, even school teachers would have, employers, bosses may have done the same, purely because they're absolutely stunningly good looking. And some guys get intimidated by good looking women. So I don't think many top shelf women, I'm sure there's been a few, none that I've ever come across, have ever experienced hardship or what it's like to struggle. And believe me, in a relationship, in marriage, there are times where you have the good times and the not so good times. And there are times where you got to know how to struggle and how to endure hardship. And whether it's the husband's business is going through financial distress and they're going to be on a tight budget, whether she can handle that, to drama with the kids. Once the kids arrive, it's a totally different ballgame. And a lot of good-looking women have never, ever had to put themselves second and experience hardship or experience having kids that need to come first. And it's, you want someone who can get their hands dirty and not have hissy fits. And whether it's the kids thrown up at the table or on the sofa or on their bed, you know, clean up the vomit with your hands with a cloth, whether your kids have wet their beds and you need to change sheets that have urine on them, you just get in, take the sheets off, replace it, air out the mattress or whatever. It really tells whether someone can do that in their stride or whether they have a hissy fit or whether it's beneath them and they want the cleaners to do that. That's when the true colours really come out. And I myself have dated a lot of top shelf women, never married a top shelf woman. I've married pretty close to top shelf women. Both my wives were very good looking, but not top shelf. They were good looking. But the women that I've come across who are top shelf material, they usually have some sort of character flaws because they've been treated like a princess and so many doors have opened up to them. They've never felt what it's like to struggle. And believe me, in life, things don't always go according to plan. There's things beyond your control that cause headaches and cause hardship and cause you to struggle. And when that happens, that's when the true test of character comes through. So I would have taken my father's advice one step further and mentioned about the person's character, whether they've ever endured hardship, because that really shapes the character, whether you can take it with just a stride or whether you have a hissy fit. And believe me, I've come across plenty of women that have hissy fits. So be very careful, guys, out there, for those that are looking for a top shelf woman. You've got to be in love with your inside, not just the outside. The outside's beautiful. It raises eyebrows when you walk into a restaurant with her. She's a trophy wife. But it's those inner qualities, the character, the personality, whether she can take things in her stride, those are the inner qualities that make a relationship last long term. And that's where you've got to question yourself when you're dating a gorgeous woman. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you got something out of it. Hardship usually shapes the character and the soul. And if you haven't gone through it, you won't know what it's like. So I hope you got something out of it. That was my dad's advice to me. Good advice. And if you want more advice on dating, purchase my Alpha Dating book. It's fantastic on the red and green flags. You can get it in your inbox in minutes from Amazon Kindle. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you've got a story you want to share with viewers, you can comment. You can contact me on my email address listed below. Until next time, take care.